Welcome, everybody, to the Miami Sports Vibes podcast with your host, Nando Diaz. I am joined by my guy, Jacoby. Just witnessed history. It's Victory Monday was yesterday. Victory Tuesday is today. 70 freaking points for the Miami Dolphins. We got a lot to talk about. But first, Jacoby, how is it going, my brother?
It's going great, dude. I am still living off that game right now, man. I cannot get over it that the Dolphins put up 70 freaking points against the Denver Broncos, and they are now 3-0 for the second consecutive season, man. I'm beyond pumped, and I am so ready for this upcoming week.
Man, dude, pumped up. I'm fired the hell up, man. I don't even know how high of a level I can be at. I could not see this happening, bro. I'm living on a high right now. Like 70 freaking points. Like I said, I mean, we got a lot to talk about today. But man, just how much fun did you have? Because I know I had a lot of fun watching that. Like 70 freaking points. It's like every time I went to put a tweet, another freaking touchdown happened. I was like, God damn. How'd you feel about that?
Man, it started right from the get-go, man. Like 2 plays into the game, we had a 52-yard touchdown from Tyreek Hill, and it just did not let up from there. Denver was kind of making it a ball game there in the first half, but dude, once they started pulling away, it felt like you said, every single play was a touchdown. The drives didn't last long at all. Freaking Achane, Mostert, oh my gosh, like they combined for like a historic performance out of 2 running backs. Man, it was just, I was jealous of every Dolphins fan there, man. I wish I was there, but that was a game for history. But it's time to look forward because we got a real test this week. Real test.
We definitely do got a big test coming up for sure, man. And it was crazy because you and I were upset a little bit because Jalen Waddle not playing in the home opener. That sucks for the home fans. That's what I said. I felt bad for the fans at home because it's like, everybody wants to see this offense, this explosive offense with Jalen Waddle. It sucks that they're not going to be able to see him. They're going to be missing out. And God damn, I mean, 70 freaking points. And honestly, I want to ask you, is it Devon Achane or Achane? Because now I'm hearing a lot of different. I'm hearing Schefter say another name. At first it was Achane. Now it's the way you're saying it. I don't even know. Do you know if that's for sure how you say his name?
The tweets I saw, it said that he said it's Achane. So I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna go Achane for now. If we get corrected, fine. Like I want to pronounce the guy's name because my gosh, what a debut from the guy.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I am beyond stoked for his performance, man. And gosh, it was just what a day. 4 touchdowns in his first home game, man.
Wow. No, it's unbelievable. And this was his first like big time reps that he got. And
absolutely,
you and I both talked about when we drafted this guy, like, man, dude, this guy has potential. This guy is fast. This guy just fits. It's only a matter of time of when he gets the reps. And I didn't think he was going to hit the ground running this fast. But man, 4 total touchdowns, 2 receiving, two rushing. I actually had a stat up here about them. And I thought that was right here. So Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert are the second pair of teammates in the NFL history with 4 scrimmage touchdowns in the same game alongside Priest Holmes and Derek Blaylock, 2004 Kansas City Chiefs. And then he's the first rookie in history to have 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns in a game. Wow. I mean, what do you have to say about that, man?
Man, it's just you can definitely see why we went with him, and we knew it from the start. Speed, man. The speed across the boards on this offense, he fits right in perfectly. I am beyond thrilled for the guy. I just hope that we continue to give him the reps he deserves. We do have 2 running backs that are down right now, and I'm really hoping we still give him the opportunities when they do come back because he fits this offense just perfectly going alongside Mostert. I was thrilled. It was just quite a game to watch, dude. Just you haven't seen anything like it.
No, you really haven't, man. You really haven't. 203 yards rushing. And that I like that you said that there because I'm a little bit worried now. It's like, what happens when Ahmed comes back? What happens with Jeff Wilson comes back? Do you think Achane showed enough to solidify himself as this is a him and Mostert type job, regardless of Ahmed and Wilson's availability? Or do you think Mike McDaniel will start to tinker a little bit?
I feel like he's going to have the chances this week. We'll get the injury report tomorrow going into practice, but We're definitely gonna see. But I mean, if that doesn't earn him more reps, what will? So he needs. He definitely needs to get reps against Buffalo. Like that's gonna be a big test right there. Let's see if he can, keep up that intensity. But we'll definitely see. But I want those two to be the lead backs for sure. Wilson's a great utility back, but like having the speed of Achane and Mostert, and with the speed we have in our receiving core, who's stopping that? Like, who's going to stop that? Like that's just you got to utilize it. You really do.
Yo, speed, 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 man. That's what we got, and it's just like right when you think you had enough with Waddle, Hill, and Mostert, then here he comes, and Devon just like looks freaking outstanding. But let's talk about our overall thoughts in the game. Obviously, a lot of things are said about the 70 points, which was also impressive. We talked about the running backs. What else caught your eye? What was your overall thoughts on actually winning that game? What's your feeling about winning that game? And just overall thoughts on the game.
My overall feeling was like, obviously I was thrilled, but I still was a little shaken up about the defense early in the game. The defense was not getting the stops we needed. Granted, I'm not going to sit here and say that Denver has a horrible offense. Denver has a really good offense, and seeing our defense just giving up these big plays again, Xavier Howard getting beat in the end zone, like it was concerning. It really was. And they had that wide, and they had another touchdown in the second half that was called back. I don't really necessarily agree with the call, so that should have been another touchdown right there, and he was wide open, man. Like these kind of miscues on defense is not going to get it done next week. But obviously there was a lot more drives where Denver was making some noise, and Javon Holland came through, forced 2 fumbles. Yeah, that was your guy. You called it right there. But I was a little shaken up with the defense in the first half, but when they came up and started making plays, I hope that's enough momentum to keep them going. But they got to have a great game plan for this week, man, because I don't feel like the defensive performance we saw in the first half. I'm not really going to credit the second half too much because Denver we broke away really quickly, and they kind of took everybody out except for Russell Wilson. But they were, they just looked defeated and given up out there. But that's not going to be the same intensity we're going to see from Buffalo. But I don't think the defensive performance we put up this week is going to get it done this week. I really don't.
Yeah, I think that's the only worry that I have. It's pretty much the defense. I think the defense has a level up still to climb. You see glimpses here and there. You see Fangio's trying to do what the best that he can do. Javon Holland obviously looks great. Jalen Phillips is giving it us all. Bradley Chubb a little bit up and down, but then again, the game did kind of slip away. I thought the defense was awesome when Mike McDaniel went for it on that 4th and inches, got stopped, and then they picked up a stop on the defensive side. So that was good. Defense leads to offense, but I still think that there's a level up that they've still yet to tap into, and maybe that'll take some time. But you nailed it right in the head, man. A lot of those things that happened on Sunday, Buffalo's going to make you pay. I mean, Buffalo just scored 30 plus against the Raiders. I know it's the Raiders, and they also scored 30 plus against the Commanders. I know it's the Commanders, but nonetheless, they are hot right now. They bounced back after a terrible performance in week 1, and they're feeling pretty confident. So we need to step up our defense. And Eli Apple is good. Yeah, right. He's the guy that actually fine. I'm glad that Fangio took his ass off the field. Like, don't even let that man on the field. Like, he had him in the doghouse, rightfully so. And that's the thing I like about Fangio, man, is he holds his players accountable.
Absolutely.
And I freaking love that, man. What about the 70 points now? We had a chance to score a field goal to get in history as the highest scoring team ever in a game with 73 points. We were in field goal range. Sanders had his helmet on. The crowd was chanting. They wanted it. The players wanted it. But Mike McDaniel opted not to go for the 73 points. He says, sportsmanship is the reason why he didn't want to run it up. What was your thoughts on that? Should he have gone with the field goal and go for 73? Would you have? How do you feel?
I think to me, so I tried to look at it from both sides. I understand where McDaniel was coming from, that the NFL is a league of respect and they're not there to break records. They have a bigger picture in mind. I get that 100%. I'm a coach myself. I've been coaching for 7 years. I'm a head coach for basketball, high school basketball. I understand that. I understand that completely. But I'm also the kind of person to where, like, the Dolphins have been the the rut of the league for years, and we've been in the midst of some pretty running up score situations. Look what Baltimore did to us a few years ago. They were running up that score. You can't tell me otherwise. They were passing it in the fourth quarter. New England did the same thing. Buffalo has done it. Like, and so it's just, to me, I'm just like, I don't know how you can deny your players the chance to make NFL history, especially with such a young team. Like, I don't think it's gonna affect them long term. I don't think that. I think they're too mature mentally to let that affect them. But to me, I feel like that would have been just such another momentum boost because you just made NFL history. A very young team just made NFL history. So I didn't agree with it. Sean Payton's a dick too. Like all that crap he talked on Tua last year. I would have let him have it. Like,
Hell yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this soft ass generation we live in these days, like where give everybody, like everybody wins kind of scenario, like go and hug your teammates after. No, fuck that. Like this is a man's game. Yeah, exactly. Sean Payton is known for running up the score too. Exactly. So I'm not mad at McDaniel. I mean, he's right. We got a bigger picture here. I'm all for it. But me personally, I would have done it. I would have given my players that chance.
I would have done the same damn thing, man. I understand sportsmanship. I think sportsmanship is cool and all. But when it comes to chasing history and you have a chance to, make the history books, like that goes out the window right there, man. Like you have the
Absolutely.
opportunity, you work to get in field goal range. You're just playing the damn game, bro. Like you're in field goal range. It's not like we're all the way at the other side and we're just trying to get downfield. Like we were right there. Like it's all right. You can take the damn field goal, get the 73. You would have been the highest scoring team ever in NFL history. That's a big deal. The crowd wanted it. We're at home. The players wanted it. Sean Payton, like you said, Sean Payton's a dick. He broke every code there is. He was talking shit about Nathaniel Hackett. He was talking about Tua. He was talking about all these coaches.
Kept
Dude,
Russell Wilson in a 50-point blowout.
yeah,
Like,
dude, fuck that guy, man. If there's
yeah,
anybody that deserves that shit right in his face, is fucking Sean Payton, man. I would have just
absolutely.
let him have it right there. Give me this damn 73 points. F all that sportsmanship and all that shit, man. Like, who cares, bro? Like you said, we're grown men. We're grown men league. Like, get
Exactly.
out of here. Next time, stop it. You don't want to get 73 on your ass, then stop it. The
Exactly.
fuck out of
It
here.
wasn't like we were passing it in the second half too. Like we were just running run plays and they were going for touchdowns. Like,
I'm
yeah,
glad.
it's just
I'm glad we were able to smack him. Do you think Tua remembered anything of that Sean Payton said? You think he had some extra
he can
motivation?
deny it. He can deny it all he wants, but I know he does. Like I
For
said,
sure.
we're seeing this cocky Tua now, and you can't tell me that stuff isn't lingering in his head about what he's been through. So I mean, he can deny it all he wants. Like I know he did. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Everyone in the chat, appreciate you guys here being here. Hit the thumbs up button, please, please, please. Appreciate the support, you guys tuning in. And also, if you guys would have gone for the 73, let me know in the chat because it can't just be me and Jacoby. And it doesn't even matter, even if you're not a Dolphin fan. Would you have gone for that field goal there and F sportsmanship? I want to know that. But aside from the 73 and the 70-point performance, Tua did he have 4 touchdowns, I believe? Four
uh,
touch I think yeah.
think let me double check. I have it in my notes here, but I think he had 3 touchdowns. But I mean, dude, he just looked so comfortable from the beginning,
Mhm.
and his performance was just undeniably good. He like again, pressure wasn't on him, and what a game from Tua, man. Yeah, 4 touchdowns, a
Oh, four,
QB
okay.
rating of 155.8, 309 yards, dude. Just
And a perfect first half, 16 for 16. And
yes,
I
that
want to know, are you, we've been people that have been realistic when it comes from Tua. All right, me and you both. So we're allowed to go here where I'm about to go with this. All right, me and you have been very, we're strict with him. But I
mhm.
think already these 3 games, he has shown us something that is just so noteworthy and it's unbelievable. And it's starting to kind of, break us out little by little. MVP. He's the favorite now. This is the 3rd week in a row where he's shown to deliver and deliver in a big time way. Are you there yet now? I asked you last week. How about now?
I think you'd be silly not to think so. Like who has he outplayed? And
Mhm.
I've been looking at these statistics as well, like these little statistics that pop up on Twitter that these fans post, and I should have sent you this, but quarterback EPA per pass attempt. Tua has been the best out of all the quarterbacks, especially when Tyreek Hill is not even on the field. He's been
That's
having a
amazing.
better rating too. So like that's just it's incredible. And he's just leading the charts and everything, dude. And I'm just like, he has to be in this question. If you're questioning it, that's on you. I like,
Yeah.
and like he said, I don't care. So I mean, just he has to be in the question. And these next few weeks, it's gonna tell big time. And especially when we get to Philadelphia and Kansas City, we're gonna find out. But this week's a big test for him. But I don't know how he can't be in your MVP discussion this
Yeah.
so far. I don't
But
know
that,
how he
and
can't.
I'm okay with that. The fact that he's in the discussion, and obviously we've seen things go south. I mean, in the NFL, there's always a early MVP person that just always starts off hot and then kind of drifts down little by little. Hopefully Tua doesn't get to that point, but just the fact that he has performed at the level he's performing at, it's noteworthy. And the fact that you're in the discussion, that's okay with me, man. I mean, the way he looks out there, like you talked about, we're getting a cocky Tua out here. Like he knows he's good. And that right there, I mean, with anybody, if you believe in yourself and you're confident in anything you play, like you just play better. I mean, shoot, that happens
Absolutely.
with that happens with me. That happens with you. That happens with anybody. Imagine an NFL freaking pro. So Tua seeing the ball, I mean, throwing it very well. I mean, he's reading, he's going through his reads, which I love. And the offensive line, man, this offensive line stays protecting them now. Like, I can't believe some of the holes that I saw them create for the running game. It's like, oh my goodness. And a lot of people might be, a little nitpicky here. They might say, oh, well, Tua's throwing it in 1 second. Like, dude, come on, man. This offensive line deserves credit at the end of the day, regardless of what Tua's doing. I think it's a whole collective team effort. That whole offense as a whole, offensive line, Tua, wide receivers, Mike McDaniel, hell, Mike White. Shit, like I think the whole offense deserves credit. But Teron Armstead, your boy, you said he needed to play. What did you like from Teron Armstead that you saw?
It's like he was never gone, man. Like he looked great out there.
Oh yeah.
Very positive, man. He came into the game post game very positive, looked great. I did see them. They were kind of switching his reps from time to time. So that was kind of good, but we really needed Armstead out there to, get him ready for this week because we're going to need all the protection we get. And, I really don't understand the argument of Tua. Oh, the line only looks good because he gets rid of the ball quickly. Do you understand like how fast the O line would be trampled in past years with Miami? Like
Mm-hmm.
I swear in 2021, Tua, by the time the ball is in his hand from the snap, there's already defenders getting into his face. Like it was that bad. So, like, give the O line credit, give the coaching staff credit. They're
Yeah.
scheming it to where the O line doesn't need to block that long, and they get plays out quickly. And you can't tell me there's not plays where he doesn't sit back in the pocket for more than 3 seconds. The touchdown to Tyreek, he was
Mm-hmm.
sitting there for like at least 4 seconds.
There we go.
Nobody within reach. The O line deserves so much credit, and they're not being talked about enough.
Nope.
Like even Austin Jackson was saying, he's like, I feel healthy. I like the technique I got going. I'm pumped. And you know what? I'm not going to get too thrilled yet because I'm going to tell you this, Nando. As a Dolphins fan, the real season doesn't start until after the third game because the last 2 times the Finns have went on to go 3-0 in 2018, they won 4 more games after that. Last year, we lost the next 3. You can't get too pumped up over 3-0. And sure enough, we got a tough task right after going 3-0. So I'm not getting too thrilled yet. Still early, but I'm thrilled with what I'm seeing. But we've been down this road before. We got to get past to where we haven't excelled through yet. So that's what I'm saying.
And speaking of that, that is our perfect segue to get onto the matchup where as we play the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Now that's a place that we haven't won since that late kick and was that Christmas Eve, Jacoby?
Yep, Andrew Franks, 2016.
Yeah, that's right. The Jay Ajayi season where we made the playoffs. So we have not won a game in Buffalo since that time.
Should have won
And
last year.
should have won last year. Should have won twice last year, even the playoffs. We played this team tough. We've played this team tough with Mike McDaniel, which is something I love. With Brian Flores is a little bit of a different story, but Mike McDaniel has kept these games very, very, very close with the Buffalo Bills, with Tua, without Tua. This team has the confidence that they can beat the Buffalo Bills. Me and you had predicted earlier before the season started that we're going to win this game in Buffalo. We did not see this team going 3-0 in there, but we're both feeling good about this. Now, this is a huge game, man. You have a chance to go up 2 games in the division. That would be huge. It's very, very hard to lose that. If you take a 2-game lead and then that win is on the road in Buffalo, I mean, I don't like to, say things too early, but you're in the driver's seat pretty much if you take a 2-game
You
lead.
take a 2-game lead with Carolina and New York Giants coming up after that.
Oh my God. I mean, think
It
about
is a
that.
huge opportunity for the Dolphins. And
Yeah.
put some freaking respect on. We're underdogs going into this game after putting up 70 points. It is ridiculous to me.
Mm.
Like, even Bills fans are even saying, like, you guys played a bottom 3 defense. We're going to manhandle you guys. Who the hell have you played? Like, you lost to the Zach Wilson Jets and you blew out the Raiders and Commanders like you should because they're bottom defenses. Like, there's no bigger hypocrites than Bills Mafia. I just wanted to get that out there. But
Mhm.
I don't think either. Like, we've played the toughest defenses so far because New England is a great defense.
Yep.
Chargers should be a good defense, but they
They should.
haven't been. And Denver, we saw what happened. But we went and got a gutsy win against Bill Belichick, and that to me is more impressive than beating the Raiders and Commanders. So we're gonna see. I'm ready.
We have
Like
our
I said,
hands cut off for
I
us.
have the Dolphins getting a win in this game. I had them losing this week, but God, they made sure I ate those words. So I'm ready for this week, dude. I really am.
Would you go as far as to saying this is a must-win game?
No, absolutely not.
Too early, right?
Way too early, and you have a 3-0 cushion.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is you get tied, and you got 2 easy games coming up. Like,
Mhm.
they can't fall if they lose this game. They can't. They got to keep the momentum going because, like I said, you win this game, you got 2 very winnable games at home before you go to Philadelphia. So this is a huge opportunity for the Dolphins. I would say that it's not so much a must-win game, but they can't go up there and get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
They can't. This has to be a competitive game.
Mhm.
If I'm not a moral victory guy, but you got to make this a good game. You
Yeah.
can't just go up there and just fall to them. You can't, because
Yeah,
then they're going
I
to get
agree.
all the momentum in the world.
Yep. I agree 100%. Like, it's not a must-win game to me because of that 3-0 cushion. If we were 2-2 or something like that, it would be a different story, of course. Um, but it would be amazing to get a 2-game lead, to win in Buffalo finally, and just to get that weight off the shoulders. But it's definitely at the minimum, the bare minimum. I'm not a moral victory guy either, but you got to play a competitive game, like super competitive game. Lose a close one, if anything. I'd be okay with that because of the next opponents in Carolina and New York, which are very, very winnable games. And I don't see how we're underdogs. That's crazy. I mean, I took that bet right when it came out for the Dolphins money line. If I lose, I'm okay with that. You get in the Dolphins at plus money, I'll take my chances, man.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about our keys to victory, man. So obviously, if we win this game, we get a 2-game lead in the division. We go to 4-0, which would be freaking amazing. If Dolphin fans were cocky now, just you guys have no idea what you're in for if we go 4-0 on Sunday. Dolphin fans are going to be talking heavy shit. I mean, if we're going to be on top
Yeah.
of the world if we go
If you think we're
4-0.
insufferable now, we'll wait till just saying.
If we beat Buffalo and we're 4-0, oh, they're gonna hate us, man.
Yep.
But 3 keys to victory, man. Give me your keys to victory. How do we go up to Buffalo and win this game, man?
My first key to victory is forcing Josh Allen into uncomfortable situations.
Hmm.
He has had horrible QB ratings in 2 of the first 3 games of the year, and you see it every single game. You put pressure on this guy, and he's going to throw the ball in areas where you need to get the interceptions, or he's going to make just a stupid decision. Get in his head, too. He plays off a lot of emotion. Christian Wilkins is already starting with that. He said in his presser, like, Josh Allen, I love that guy. Like, he knows what he's doing. He absolutely knows what he's doing. And that's what Josh Allen's good at, is just reacting off emotion. My second key to victory is you have to scheme up properly against Matt Milano. Matt Milano is a complete beast on the defensive end, and we've seen it from time to time. Had a late hit on Tua. That's what started the concussions. He absolutely obliterated Mike White last year. Like, he is a he is somebody to be feared of on the defensive side. The O-line needs to be ready for his pass rush. You got to keep Milano away from Tua. But I don't want to say just Tua. I mean, you got to scheme up properly against him. You can't let him get loose against Tua. So, and my third one is going to be pretty much continue to pound the rock, continue to run the game, use the clock to your advantage. Every second counts when you're playing against Buffalo. They can score in an instant. They're kind of like the Warriors in a way on their offense. They can score very quickly, which makes any sizable lead to the Bills very small. So like, when you have if you have a lead, pound the rock, use the clock. That's how they're going to get wins. But it's going to be a good one for sure.
Yeah, honestly, it is going to be a good. I like those keys to victory. I think those are on the money. Mine are kind of similar, of course, because I mean these are the keys to victory. We're Dolphin fans. We know what it takes. So,
Yep.
I jotted down. My first one is offensive line, just continuing to dominate. Give lanes for those running backs. I mean, you saw the tape. If any of you guys didn't see, I mean, it's all over Twitter. I mean, the running lanes that they were able to produce there was unbelievable. I mean, there was a play where like every defensive lineman for the Broncos was just on their ass.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And keeping Tua clean. So offensive line as a whole, keeping Tua clean. Why I say that? Because honestly, this Buffalo Bills pass rush scares the hell out of me. You talked about AJ. You talked about Milano. Gregory Rousseau is a guy that could get in there. Floyd's a guy that could get in there. What's the other guy? I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there's a couple guys that scare me, and they don't even have Von Miller yet. That's the crazy thing. But this Buffalo Bills team produced 9 sacks last week. I know it's against the Commanders, but still 9 sacks. They're coming off a 9-sack game. Our offensive line has the motivation. They believe they can do it. I'm glad that they have that. They're going up there with confidence, but they're going to have their hands full. We got to keep Tua clean. We got to keep Tua healthy because 9 sacks and that Buffalo Bills pass rush is going to be ready to go in Buffalo. So that's my number one key, offensive line as a whole. My second one is similar to what you said. Take the lead early, set the tone early. All right. Make Josh Allen play under pressure because he has a big head, and he can make mistakes, and his mistakes start to pile on and pile on and pile on. You saw that the Jets were able to get into his head. He can get frustrated. Once he gets frustrated, he starts doing things that are just not smart. When it comes to throwing the ball to multiple defenders, not holding on to the ball, trying to make a play when he's already coming down, fumbling. He is a turnover machine. So put him in uncomfortable situations. Take the lead early, set the tone early. Get off to a nice first quarter lead on the road. Get the crowd scared. Get the crowd nervous, and just try to win the psychological game. And my third key to victory is Josh Allen is a scrambling quarterback, and the Miami Dolphins do not do well against scrambling quarterbacks. We saw what Justin Fields did to us last year. That was a nightmare. Josh Allen has beat us in the run before, has kicked our asses. Got to be ready for that. Do you put a QB spy in there? Hopefully so. But watch out for Josh Allen and his scrambling ability. And also, I want to throw a little one in there. Guarding the tight ends. Every time we play the Bills, Dawson Knox scores. Now they got a guy, Kincaid, out there who can play the tight end position. Please keep either of those guys out of the end zone, because for some reason, when it comes to guarding Buffalo Bills tight ends, they tend to have a day. So those are my keys to victory. What do you think about those?
I think that's really good. And, you had a good point there about the scrambling ability that Josh Allen has. I'm confident Fangio is going to have the proper scheme for this. But you know what? It's going to come down to the players executing. So we might have a shootout. You might have to score 40 points to win this game. So
I think
it's going to be a big one. I honestly think it's going to be a high scoring game. It has the makings for game of the week, in my opinion. I think it has the ability to be like the Chargers game for sure.
Yeah, I see this. I definitely see this being super, super high scoring. I kid you not. I think whoever I could go even as far as I think whoever the hell scores 40 is going to win this game. I'm not even kidding. I think the winner is going to be in the 40s. I think it's going to be that type of freaking game. What worries you the most heading into this matchup, though?
Our secondary.
Yeah.
The deep ball has been an issue. The end zone touchdown coverage has been an issue. I can get into my X factor because this is kind of related, but I think Xavier Howard's going to be the X factor. You're gonna have a tough task against Stephon Diggs. I feel like our our other corners can take care of Gabe and Knox, but Diggs is going to get his. So Xavier's got to be ready.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say.
I like
mean,
that.
I think if you can somehow take Diggs out of this game, you're going to be in really good shape.
I have said that for so many years and so many matchups when it comes to this matchup in particular, and X just makes me eat my words every time. Diggs just always seems to score on him. He seems to just get him every time. You know, so he should be the X factor. But it's like, dude, I lost confidence when it comes to X against Diggs, bro. I think Diggs just always cooks him. But if he does, it would make the game so much easier. Maybe it'll stop these games from being so freaking close. But so that's your X factor on defense. Now tell me what's your X factor on offense.
My X factor on offense is the offensive line. You got to
Yeah.
keep to it. You can't allow 9 sacks. That's for sure. Grant, I know it's the Commanders, but this is where I kind of think they benefit. If Buffalo's going to bring the house and pass rush, then the offense needs to do what they do best: get rid of the ball quickly, get the ball in, and that's going to prevent them from wanting to pass rush so much because they know they need to get into coverage. So we're going to see, but it's on the offensive line again. They have a huge task here. I think they're up for it. Hopefully Connor Williams is good tomorrow. I know he left with an injury last week, but we got Armstead back just in time. He did really good against the Bills last year, so I'm ready for it. But it's going to be on the O-line, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think O-line for sure. My X factor besides the O-line, and obviously we're not going to take Tua in these at all. It's just that's obvious. I'm going to go with the Cheetah, man, because of what I said. I think it's important to set the tone early, and setting the tone early goes with your best players. You saw him set the tone early against the Broncos this weekend. Get Tyreek Hill an early touchdown, have him talking shit, have him piss off those Bill fans. That's how you set the tone with your best player, Tua to Tyreek early on. And then let the other guys kind of eat from there and let the O-line get into a groove. But I'm gonna go with the Cheetah, and on defense, I'm gonna go with Jalen Phillips. He's a little bit banged up, but Jalen Phillips is a guy who, you said he could be a defensive player of the year. We're both very high on him, and this is a matchup where he has shown success in the past against the Bills, and I want him to elevate a little bit on the road against Buffalo, a chance to go 4-0. Put this team on your back, put this defense on your back. This defense just wants to celebrate something. Shout out to Andrew Van Ginkel, by the way. We didn't talk about him. He's been all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely. Shout out to him. But Jalen Phillips, man, get the sacks going and put this defense on your back, man. Make a statement against Josh Allen. Like, it's going to be there for you, man. It's going to be there. So I'm going with Jalen Phillips and Tyreek Hill as my X factors.
No, not bad. No, I think it's gonna be a tough one, dude. It's like I said, I think I think it's gonna be very high scoring, and you probably have to score 40 points if you're gonna want to win this game. From what I've seen from the defense could probably show up and be absolutely amazing. Eli Apple kind of cooked Josh Allen last year, so we'll see. We'll definitely see. This is the time to redeem himself. Hey, dude, let's do it. But you want me to get into my score prediction?
That's exactly where I'm going with next. Score prediction.
I have Miami winning this one 42-37. I think it's going to be I think the Bills are going to get a chance to either to win, and I think we'll get a turnover to end the game. I think it's going to come down to the wire.
Yes, I agree. My score is similar to yours. I'm actually going 41-38 Miami. I think this is going to, like I said, whoever gets the 41st wins the game. I think it's going to be Miami. I think we get a 3-point win in Buffalo. I think it's going to be must-see TV. This is going to be awesome. I do think we set the tone early, though. Just like I said, I think we get off to a nice big lead, maybe like a 10-point lead in Buffalo. We get a little confident. Then Buffalo makes their run, just like good teams do. That's to be expected. We battle back and forth, blow for blow. And then when it's all said and done, I think Miami wins this game by 41. What I said? 41-38. Yes. So we got Nando says 45-40 is going to be the score. You got Giannis says Finns 31-27, a little bit less scoring than us, but you got the Finns winning. I'll take that, man. But I do think it's going to be in the 40s. Whoever gets 40 wins this game. We're set for a good one, man. This is going to be great. And what better feeling than to go to Buffalo 3-0? Like this is great. This is great. 28-24 Zell has the Finn. A little bit less scoring than us. Okay, I like that. I respect that.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be a good game nonetheless. So we shall see how that goes. But now it's time, man. It's time for our fantasy segment. Many of you fantasy football fans, this is the time to ask your questions as Jacoby and I talk a little bit about week 4 here. Jacoby, how's your fantasy squad doing?
I had the worst week possible. I'm gonna give you guys a little story here because god damn, I'm still pissed. So starting off with my league that I'm in with Nando, lost by 20. Had A-Chan on my bench with 51 points, so that was pain. And a lot of people say, well, it was right to not start him. No one could expect it. And I'm like, no, I'm a little thin at running back. If Achan was getting some consistent touches, I would have put him in there for week 3 for sure. So that sucked. In my other league, I had a 6-point lead with 2 minutes left in the Rams and Bengals game, and I was playing against Atwell, and he gets himself a touchdown in garbage time, and it ended my week. I lost by 1. So that sucked. And I also had a parlay going. We're trying to win $500 yesterday. And all my props hit except for Baker Mayfield and not hitting 34 passing attempts. I hit on all my other 4 props. And it sucked too because Mayfield had 26 attempts with 10 minutes left in the game, and he did not get the ball back. I was completely pissed. So, yeah, it was a tough week for me fantasy-wise, but I know I'm going to bounce back this week, and I just saw the comment. Yeah, probably, yeah, I lost to you. Whatever. But it's time to move on.
Damn,
Yeah.
what a damn bad luck week for you, bro.
Dude, it just, you know what? But the Dolphins game made up for it. So like I'm chilling. Same thing happened to me last year though in week 3. Last year in week 3, I lost another parlay by 1. I lost both my leagues, but the Dolphins beat the Bills. So that was like it was the exact same kind of thing.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Yeah. So,
yeah, me on the other hand, I won my 2 ESPN leagues, dropped one of my sleeper leagues. So I'm 3-0 in our league that we're in together, which is a good sign. I don't know how I'm doing it. We talked about it before we started the show. I got Dak Prescott as my quarterback and Najee Harris as my RB1, and they both suck. I don't know how the hell I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. Got to get the wins while they're there. And then I went 6-0 in my podcast bets, man. So the bets that I laid out here on the stream on Sunday all hit. So it was a nice day, and obviously the 70 points by the Miami Dolphins put the icing on the cake. But let's go with our fantasy segment, man. Let's hope for a better week for you. And let's go ahead, start with our stardom situms in the QB position. Who are you liking this week?
Yeah, for sure. So my 2 stardoms this week, definitely rolling with Justin Herbert. You know, Justin Herbert is not being talked about enough. You know, he had an amazing game against the Vikings and finally got their first win. You know, I'm a big Herbert guy. I'm not afraid to admit it. I love Herbert. You know, he put up 405 yards with 3 touchdowns last week. So definitely keep him in there. If you got one of those dual quarterback leagues or you have other options, roll with Justin Herbert this week. And I'm also going to go with Trevor Lawrence. You know, he hasn't had the best opening start to the season fantasy-wise. He's going up against Atlanta this week. I like that matchup, so I'm going to roll with Trevor Lawrence this week. He put up only 14.3 points against the Texans, which a lot of people wanted more of. But, you know, I think this is the week where he has a little bit of a breakout game for sure.
He freaking better because I'm getting a little worried about him there. And I'm a guy who's been very, very high on that whole team, man. What about yeah, I agree with the Justin Herbert, by the way. I like him as well. Who are you staying away from, or who are you a little bit scared this week for the QBs?
Yeah, for this one, definitely I don't like Geno Smith this week going up against New York. New York hasn't had the best luck to their season, but Geno's just been a little up and down with me so far. Like I don't know, when I watch him, it's just I feel like he's gotten lucky a few times. Definitely got a little lucky against Detroit, but only put up 15.4 against Carolina. Had only 9 points against the Rams. So I'm going to sit Geno this week against the Giants, who are only ranked 20th against the quarterback. They're averaging about 17.2 points, but I feel like they'll get a turnover on him. So I'm going to stay away from him this week. And I'm also going to probably get a little bit of backlash for this one, but did not like what I saw last week from the Cowboys. I'm going to stay away from Dak Prescott again. He's going up against Bill Belichick, and, you know, You can't ever count out Bill to have a good game plan going. He had a good one for Tua. Dak only had 14 points against the Cardinals and had a terrible interception. So I'm going to stay away from Dak this week. I think Belichick will take care of him. Whether you like it or not, New England has been an amazing defensive team for the first few weeks of the season. So I'm going to stay away from Dak.
They have been a good defensive team, and I'm freaking scared because, like I said, I have them, and my only other option is like Daniel Jones or Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm like, I'm stressing out, man. I'm stressing out. We have a quarterback question here that you can answer before we head on to running backs.
No, I think Josh Allen will have a good game. With how our defense has been. Russell Wilson had a good game, even though they got blown out. So if you have Josh Allen, like honestly, if you have Josh Allen, you have to start him every week.
Yeah.
Like if you have somebody better, it's Patty Mahomes but because fantasy wise, Josh Allen has, weapons and a running ability for PPR leagues. You got to keep Josh Allen.
Yeah. And also, Jacoby, why do you start the Broncos defense?
No, okay.
You have to address it. Bro.
Yeah. I even texted Nando. I was like, dude, I forgot to switch them out. I was thinking about it all week. I'm like, I got to get them out of my lineup. And I had them in my other league too. So I switched them out of my other league. And I guess I completely forgot about my other league. So yeah, I was pissed because I got negative 11 points, dude. I was so pissed. Like I didn't even notice it until like the first touchdown. I went and looked. I was like, oh shit, I have the Broncos defense. So yeah, that was on me, man. I just completely forgot to go and take them out of there.
That's what happens. That's the price you pay when you stream defenses on multiple leagues, bro.
For sure.
But let's talk about the running backs, man. Who do you love this week in the running back position?
All right, I might be a little biased here because I just traded for him, but I think this is the week he finally gets a breakout game. He's playing against the Texans, who are averaging 26 points to running backs. Najee Harris. Okay, I just traded for Najee. I think this is the week. He had 19 carries for 65 yards. Barely had any targets last week against the Raiders. He's getting his opportunities. It's just a matter of time. And like I said, I might be a little biased because I just traded for him. Give me Najee this week against the Texans. I like him this week. I love the matchup, so give me that. My second one is, this might not be a surprise to everybody, but I think you got to continue going with him. I'm going to do Kenneth Walker. He's been really fun to watch. He's currently ranked third right now in running backs on PPR leagues. And he's playing the Giants, who are also ranked 26 against running back, averaging about 25 points to running back. So continue getting Kenneth Walker in your lineup until you start seeing a dip in his volume. But I love that matchup this week.
Bro, he is a beast. He just gets into the end zone, man. I freaking love Kenneth Walker. I was a little bit scared with the rookie that they drafted. Maybe he was going to take some touches away, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case anytime soon, man.
No, for sure.
Shout out to Najee, man. I got him. I hope you're right. Obviously, I have to start him, and hopefully he does well. Which running backs are you staying away from this week?
This one was tough for me to say, but I feel confident because of the matchup. I'm gonna probably, if you can flex him, maybe take the risk. But if you have better options, do it. But I might sit Travis Etienne this week. Against the Chiefs, pretty much had a horrible game. He had 6 points last week. This week he had a better week against the Texans, 17 points. But he's playing against the Falcons, who are ranked third against running backs. So it might be a tough game for him. I expect more of a passing game going for the Jaguars. I expect Calvin Ridley to get some points this week, but I don't like the matchup this week for Etienne.
Great, and I have Travis. I freaking have Travis. I hope that's not the case, because he's been stressful to watch, and a lot of the touchdowns are getting taken away by Tank Bigsby over there, and I'm like, God damn it, man. That's just...
but you know what? Like I said, if you don't have other options, then maybe flex them. But I don't like the matchup. But it just really depends on your other players and who they're playing. But the matchup kind of worries me. But that's you do you.
So Travis Etienne,
yes.
Right? And
my second sit-em is going to be Alexander Madison again.
Damn it.
Uh, now with the addition of Cam Akers, I expect them to get him in there in the mix this week. The Vikings, they got to get something rolling. They're 0-3, and they're playing against the Panthers, which we'll see. It could be. The Panthers haven't been a bad defensive teams thus far, so we'll see. But I expect them to get Akers involved. They traded for him for a reason. And if it's going to be a split backfield or even mix in a third running back, it's going to definitely take away some volume from Madison. So probably going to stay away from him this week if I have better options. But, a lot of you drafted Madison and the expectations of being an RB1, so you might not even have a choice. So, flex him if you can, stream another player. But with the addition of Cam Akers, it kind of worries me.
Yeah, I agree. I have Alexander Madison and I have to start him. But after that Cam Akers trade went down, I've been stressed ever since, bro. Najee Harris and Madison, those are my running backs. Jesus. But wide receivers, man. Who are the wide receivers that you love this week?
All right. So I feel like my number one stardom this week, he's always hit or miss. A lot of people get pissed because he either has a huge game or he doesn't. But I think with our secondary right now, we're going to be the focus on Diggs. I think Gabe Davis is in store for a good game. Gabe Davis, I know he had a long touchdown last week. Had 4 targets against the Raiders. He had 21 points, 7 targets on 6 receptions, and he's had good games against us in the past. So, with how bad our secondary has been, I could see him getting a lot more targets. So I'm going to roll with Gabe Davis if I have him.
Yeah, I could see him popping off, bro. He has big games against us, and he has a little bit of a drop issue. So we'll see about that. But I think that's a solid start. Who else you liking?
I love T. Higgins this week. Did not have himself a great game against the Rams. 8 targets for 2 receptions, and you can't ever count out T. Higgins to get pissed off and have himself a breakout game the following week. He's playing against the Titans, who are ranked 29th against the pass. They are averaging a whopping 49 points to receivers right now. I think T. Higgins will have an amazing bounce back this week because that's just the kind of guy he is. When he gets pissed about his performance, he comes off and then drops freaking 30 piece against your team. Like he had zero catches on 8 targets against the Browns and then came in and dropped 8 receptions on 12 targets and 2 touchdowns against the Ravens. So I love T. Higgins this week.
Nice. I love T. Higgins, man. I really need him to get going. I don't have him in any league, but I am a T. Higgins fan, bro. Love that dude. Which wide receivers are you staying away from?
I think it's time. If you're a DJ Moore owner, man, I think that it's just such a mess over there in Chicago. And this week against the Broncos is like going to be like a mid off, or if the Broncos figure it out and know what to do, then it might just be a lopsided win. But I'm gonna bench DJ Moore this week, honestly. Like it's very hard to watch. Last week was a little better, but I'm gonna definitely look for other options now for DJ Moore.
And I've wanted DJ Moore in every league, and I could not get him. And that's the crazy thing. I was thinking big things from DJ Moore. Justin Fields, I know, was projected to be really, really good this year. I wasn't too confident on him, but I thought DJ Moore was definitely going to pop off. And even though he had a good little week last week, I would agree. Stay away from the whole Bears
it's getting messy over there.
Oh yeah, and quick. Who else don't you like this week?
Drake London. Don't like the
yes.
A lot of people to me are still they're still starting him. They're still trying to get a chance and hold out hope for him, but he got 6 targets, only got 2 receptions for 31 yards. So the Falcons passing game is just not intimidating. Kyle Pitts is intimidating as a player, but they can't even get him involved. And I even had faith in him last week. So, just stay away from Drake London right now until they figure out what to do over there, because there's just no passing game going on.
It's just a whole bunch of running, man. I think staying away from Drake London is or try to trade him while you can, because it's gonna get worse.
No, absolutely.
What about the tight end position? Are you giving me 2 or are you giving me 1 this week?
I got 2 this week. These are my tight end ones are purely based on matchups. Now with the fall of Mike Williams, it opens up more volume for Gerald Everett. So I'm going to go with Gerald Everett this week, especially going up against the Raiders, who are averaging almost 16 points a game to tight ends. I think this is a great opportunity to finally get him going. So especially with Mike Williams going down. So give me Gerald Everett. And then my second one will be Pat Freiermuth. The Steelers looks like they got a lot of momentum going on, and he had a great game for a tight end against the Raiders last week. Put up 41 yards and a touchdown. Last year he was one of Pickett's favorite targets, and Deontay's still down, so he's going up against Houston. Get Freiermuth in there if you do.
Yeah, I agree with those two. Especially Gerald Everett. I think that opens it up a little bit for him with the injury to Mike Williams. What tight ends you're staying away from? This should be easy.
Well, this one, it might shock. I did tell you guys a few weeks ago, if you have three of these tight ends, if you have Kelsey, Andrews, and there was one more, and TJ Hawkinson, you got to start them every week. But a lot of you like drafting more than one tight end for some reason, and I know that's like the majority of the people who play fantasy. So if you have other options, I'm going to stay away from Mark Andrews this week. Mark Andrews put up 7 points against the Colts, who were only ranked 16th against tight ends. Now they're going up against the Browns, who are the number one ranked defense against tight ends, only averaging 3.2 points a game to tight ends. So if you've got other options, maybe stream one, but the Ravens have been just so up and down. We'll see, but I could see Mark Andrews having another tough game for sure.
Yeah. I think when it comes to tight ends, like you have to start Andrews if you got him, but it's like, I can see him having a bad game again. To be honest with you, I think you're onto something there. Who else are you staying away from?
I'm also staying away from Zach Ertz, going up against the Niners, who are not far behind the Browns in terms of defense against the tight ends. But, he only had two points against the Cowboys, and they're only ranked one up from the Niners. So don't like the matchup. Don't start Ertz.
How about this? Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy?
Man, that's a tough one because Brock Purdy should have like 5 interceptions right now, and it's only a matter of time till it happens.
Yep.
So, you got to go with the safe one, and that probably is Purdy because that offense is so freaking just solid, man. And like you can afford to be a bad quarterback and still have a great game. So, and they're going up against the Cardinals. Purdy will probably have a great game. So, I know I said start him for Trevor Lawrence, but you're kind of in a win-win there. Do whatever you think feels good. Maybe take the better matchup, but like I said, Purdy should have like 5 interceptions right now, and it's only a matter of time until it catches up to him. So take that as you will.
Yeah, I agree with that. How about this? Zay Flowers or Brandon Ayuk?
Ayuk's pretty beat up right now, but Zay's also going up against a really tough defense. So, man, that's a tough one.
Very.
I will probably take Zay because Ayuk's pretty beat up right now. But if you know what, Nando, monitor practice all week. If Ayuk's a full participant, go with Ayuk.
Yeah, I agree with that. If he is a full participant, go with Ayuk for sure. But other than that, if it's a little bit iffy there, if he's limited majority, then take the volume with Zay Flowers. We got another question here. I have Lockett, Thielen, and Tank Dell. Yes, shout out to Tank Dell. What a performance he's been putting on the last 2 weeks. And then Jacoby talked about those Houston wide receivers last week on the
Tank
show.
Dell and Nico Collins, man.
Jacoby told you guys, those Texans wide receivers, people staying away from it because it's the Texans. Those guys are get targets.
Yep.
So I have Lockett, Thielen, and Tank Dell. I have a wide receiver spot available and a flex spot available. Which 2 of the 3 do I start? So you get 2 out of 3 here. It should be a no-brainer, but what are you going with?
I think Lockett and Dell. Those are the 2 players. Mm-hmm. Thielen's just so iffy, and especially now. Well, who is it? Isn't Andy Dalton now going to be over there right now? Yeah. So
Bryce is questionable.
Go with Lockett and Dell. Lockett always has these random blow-up games for some reason, and Tank Dell is on a team where they're going to be throwing all game long, like I say, and him and Nico Collins are going to be putting up points left and right. So I would go with those 2.
Yes, and Lockett is playing against the Giants. The Giants tend to give up big plays here and there. So I would go with Lockett and Tank Dell. Those 2 performances by Tank Dell in weeks 2 and 3, I think you got to go right back to it. And Thielen is, I feel like his better days are behind him. But
Mhm.
even though Andy Dalton is there, I know Andy Dalton will look for a veteran like Thielen. So I think it's a solid play, but I would go with Lockett and Dell for that. Come on, are you being serious?
I mean, Waddle might not play, but because we haven't heard about Waddle yet, but he better play because he was limited last week. But yeah, Waddle for sure.
Yes, Jalen Waddle. All right. Shout out to Tutu though. He's been doing his thing over there
No,
for the
he
Rams.
has. He definitely has.
Yeah, they've been doing their thing over there. No doubt, no doubt. Thursday night football. Final segment before we wrap up the show here. Again, I want to shout you guys out on the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in, and please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button for us. Score predictions Thursday night. You got the Lions taking on the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Lions are favored by 1.5. Who do you think wins this game and why?
I really love what's going on in Green Bay right now. Jordan Love, man, has been putting on a show. He had a great week last week against the Saints, led him in comeback fashion to beat him. I'm gonna go with the Packers. Okay, I got Aaron Jones on my team. I want to see them win. I'm gonna get the Packers in an upset because the Lions are favored. I'm gonna give them 28-17.
Like it. I like it. Is Aaron Jones questionable or is he good to go?
He's still questionable right now. He almost played last week, so he should play. I hope he plays this week. I really need him. So, but Matt LaFleur said that he was, if they would have practiced yesterday, he would have been limited. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I got to check the update from today. Actually, I haven't really seen it, but I hope Aaron Jones gets back on the field because he killed it week 1.
Yeah, hopefully he's good to go. I know that this past week they were down Jair Alexander, they were down Aaron Jones, Watson as well. Bakhtiari didn't play. You got two people here saying that the Lions are going to win. Giannis says Lions 24-21. Zell says 31-21 Lions. And I got called out on Sunday's stream for being a quote unquote Packers fan because because I bet them so far. I've bet them all 3 weeks in the NFL, and I honestly, hey, listen, I won twice, and my one
you're
loss,
2-1, not bad.
My one loss, but they should have won. They lost by 1 to the Atlanta Falcons, and so this should be no surprise here to anybody. I am going with the Packers to win this game, and damn right, I'm going with the Packers bet. See this? You see this? I'm betting the Packers to win this game straight up, like I've been doing. I'm doing it again. They're plus money. They're underdogs. Why? The same reason why I've been saying. I think Lambeau Field is a real thing. I like what I've seen from Jordan Love. Coming in clutch and winning that game the way he did Sunday means something, Brand. That stuff matters.
Dude.
This is a division game. You're at home. This is important, man. And I just think that the Green Bay Packers are a better team, are a better franchise. They're at home. Jordan Love, better quarterback than Jared Goff, in my opinion. In my opinion, I know that might be a hot take to
it might be. I'm not gonna lie,
but in my opinion, I think Jordan Love is better than Jared Goff. Maybe not yet, but he's going to be. I like the things that I've seen from Jordan Love, man. I really do.
All right. So I respect it.
So I know that is definitely going to be a hot take, but clip that if you want. Jordan Love's going to have a better career than Jared Goff when it's all said.
Okay,
How
man.
about that? give me the Green Bay Packers and the Green Bay Packers my plus 1.5, however you want it, man. I think they win. You know what? I think it's best to end the stream with that, man. I think that was such a hot take that we should just end it there. Guys, thanks for tuning in. See you guys next week. Dolphins versus Bills this weekend. 4-0 incoming.
Yeah. Hey, next week's show is gonna be crazy if we're 4-0. Just saying.
Hey, watch out for them Dolphin fans.